What is going on, guys? I am MC Fixer, and today you're listening to our very first episode of our brand new podcast, and I say our because I have a co-host, and you can see her if you're watching the video version, called Fixer Friends. Fixer Friends is our brand new podcast, which is me, MC Fixer, Fixer, whatever you want to call me, getting together each week with certain people that are close to me, such as my co-host this week, and for most weeks, and hopefully all weeks, Hayley.
Hey.
Also known as The Hayley Show. The idea of the show, Hayley, is that we get together and talk about... I'm going to be moving about a bit, so... get together and talk about just things that we love, things we want to share with the world, just things that people may have not have heard before. We get to talk about topics other than gaming, which would be amazing. Honestly, it's just so me and Ju can get together once a week and talk, which isn't about video games. No, but on a serious note, it's like isn't about video games and isn't about work.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will creep into those topics as this show gets week by week. But for me, it's more of I just want to talk about other things other than just games. The MC Fixer channel is different now, as I'm sure lots of people have seen. My Xbox and me is no longer there. We're creating more vloggy type content. We have
lots of things on the horizon that we're going to be bringing out.
Yeah,
soon,
it's a hard one. So
trying to grow,
So this episode, I wanted lots of people. As if you're new to the channel, welcome, of course. And you may not know, like I say, real name Corey. Hayley, obviously.
Yeah, I don't go by any other names. I'm just Hayley by day and by night.
But Hayley's my fiance, has been for the last 3 years.
Yes, 3 years. I don't know why you always look confused. It's the same answer that you've given people this last year.
Yeah.
But,
so the last 3 years. We've been together 7 years.
Yes.
And lots of people ask, "Oh, how did you meet when we're streaming?" Or how did you guys get? Where did you?
Fascinating story for me, but then I suppose I lived it, so
it's a weird.
I don't know.
It's an interesting story.
I think. Into it, I'm sure.
I think. Yeah, so that's the topic of this week's episode. Maybe we'll do another topic as well. We're going to try and go for an hour long each week, and see where we end up. Honestly, topic is how we met. How Fixer met Hayley, how Hayley met Corey, how Corey met Hayley.
Jeez, I'm going out with Fixer and Corey. That's
You're doing well. You're doing well.
Oh, I don't know.
So I don't know where to start with this one. Honestly, it's an interesting one.
I guess it kind of starts before we met.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like
that's really strange.
Yeah.
To think about, but
it goes back. It goes back even further
before.
than before anything.
I would go with like some of the coincidences. I think we should do that afterwards, after the story.
Okay.
But I mean that before I met you, I didn't know who you was.
No.
But that's not specifically true the other way around.
No,
because
exactly.
We met in the September.
Yeah.
And the month before the September was my birthday, was my 17th birthday.
Yeah.
And although you didn't know me, you knew of me because we had a similar set of friends.
Yeah, our friends. So we both. Which
were friends that you had before, but you'd fallen out of touch with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So before we'd actually met, I had invited some friends over for my 17th birthday. Sorry, Mum, Dad. Don't know if you knew this. You were out of town. And you knew that they were all coming to my party.
Yeah, because they told me, because I was at my house.
Because they told you. But I had very strict instructions because I had a free house all night. And my mum and dad weren't going to be there, that I didn't want everyone at our sixth form to find out that I had a free house, because that's disastrous. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want people just turning up and wrecking the place.
Of course.
So it was very much a closed invitation of these are the people that are invited.
And no, you can't
bring anyone else.
Yeah.
And really, you shouldn't even really be mentioning it to anybody else. We're not posting on Facebook or anything like that this is going on.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anyone just turning up.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So clearly, there were some people there that did not get the memo about not telling anyone what was going on.
So, no, okay, this is what happened. So, what happened was, as most of you know, I used to do music full time, and it was at the start of me just joining the rap group and
AG Fly.
AG Fly.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I think Kaio and Camille were at my house.
Yeah.
And I think we were having a recording session. I think we may even recorded Dance With Me.
Interesting.
So, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember this story right, and I remember them not saying to me, I remember I said to them, oh, so what's going down tonight? And I remember them like, oh, we're going to a party. Oh, but you can't come. And I was like, what the? And me being me, back then.
I was just like, nah, no newbies. No, I'm
No, but
joking.
it
was not that.
Yeah, but it was an interesting one where it was just like, oh, okay, where are you going? And they're like, oh, we're going to Hayley's party. And I'm like, all right, cool, boom. I don't even know who Hayley is, like, irrelevant, honestly.
Yeah.
Whatever. Boom, boom, boom. We carry on recording. They leave my house. I don't realise. Yeah. My house is right near your house.
Yeah. Oh, so they didn't tell you whereabouts.
No, they didn't tell me where they were going.
Walked from your house up
to the party. Yeah. Well, because they left my house, if I remember rightly, again late-ish. It wasn't like an early recording session because the recording studio was in my house. I had the microphone. I used to mix that. And stuff
so that makes sense. They probably walked up the hill to me.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like
because we all got there. Like people came quite early because we had Domino's.
Yeah.
So I didn't work there yet, but my friend worked there, and she got the lift to our house with the delivery driver. With Domino's,
So that's sort of
that was like a
that's the prequel.
Yeah, it's the
It's the prequel of how we actually meet.
Yeah.
So we don't actually meet there, but
but
I find out about you.
Me.
I know who you are as you're a human being in this world.
See, now I had not a sneaky suspicion. I had a sneaky suspicion about you. No, I kind of knew you.
Yeah.
Before that, even, because I used to be friends with AG Fly, the rap group that you was just coming into. Mm-hmm. Not before you knew them, but you had fallen out of touch with them. My first year of sixth form, I knew who they were. Obviously, that's why they were at my house. But I knew that they had just started to do Dance and Festival that summer.
Yes.
And I was going to camp because I used to do like loads of camping trips and stuff like that in the summer. So in the July, they were doing Dance and Festival, and I couldn't make Dance and Festival because I was camping. So I was messaging them and texting them or like calling them and saying, oh, good luck and blah, blah. And I knew that there was a new guy that they were performing with at Dance and Festival. Now that new guy
just happened to be this guy.
But I didn't know that then. Like, and I didn't even know your name because they hadn't really mentioned it because it was the first time that you performed together. So I believe, right? Yeah, first Dance and Festival.
Yeah, that first Dance and Festival, I went there to. I don't know how I can't even remember how I got invited along. I must have heard that they were going to Dance and Festival to perform. I just got back into music.
I don't even know if you was meant to perform.
I wasn't meant to perform. No. What happened was I went there and recorded the show for him.
Yeah.
I was the cameraman because if you remember,
I would have messaged them saying good luck, but then the people that I would have actually been in contact with during the show would have been my friends that were there watching.
We're gonna get to that.
Where I was gonna say. So that's where I would have known that you were performing with them, but I wouldn't have known your name.
So the first show, this is actually how it went. So the first show, because we had multiple time slots on this stage. Shout out to Running Late. On the Running Late stage, and the first slot I recorded, I remember saying, yo, give me a shout out or something to Kaio. Totally aired it. I remember as soon as he come off stage, I was like, yo, where's my shout out? He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Next time, just get on stage with me when a song called Came to the Club comes on.
Yeah.
And so I knew every word to Came to the Club anyway because the song, it was a catchy song.
Yeah.
So before I was even part of the group, I was the hype man, which for those who don't know what a hype man is, it's go shake that for me. For those who don't know what a hype man is, it's someone who backs up and ad-libs the words of everything that goes on during a song. So he might need breaths every now and then and stuff like that. So you fill in those gaps of the words. So it's like, I think that the song was like, I came to the club because and then I would do the da-da-da-da dance and stuff like that, and that's how a hype man works. Cool, no problem, did that.
So this is all, again, beforehand.
So,
funny enough, I also knew Running Late before I knew that was the people that you were all performing for. Yeah,
that's a different story.
But again, all random little coincidences.
Yeah, crazy.
So then fast forward to, so we've had
No,
July.
don't fast forward. No, Then I meet a pinnacle person in our lives that I would say actually brought us together, which is I met your best friend at the time, Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at Dancing Festival. She was
Yeah.
there with a group of friends of yours that I didn't know they were your friends at the time. And obviously I was introduced to them, blah, 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 blah. Boom. So, and I feel like that's important for Holly to be important. And obviously at the time I met a girl called Faye.
Yeah. And
Which,
that was again
that's
an
very
important
important person because of where we actually first speak.
Yeah, of course. So we had July, you had Dancing Festival. That was the first time that I'd heard that there was a new guy that had performed with AG Fly. Okay. Again, this group was always evolving. It had different members in it. People were leaving and coming in. Yeah. So I didn't know whether this was going to be something in the end or whether it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know whether you was a new person on stage or just someone I hadn't met yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had heard that you were there. And then you come to the next month, August, which is my birthday, when I turned 17.
Yeah.
That I had my party where you first heard of me. Again, these things did not sit in our minds at all.
No, it didn't coincide
okay, it's a random girl,
whatever,
it's a random guy.
100%.
We're teenagers, we go to a mixed school, it's not unnatural to know other people. Yeah. So then you go from July was Dancing Festival, August was my birthday, and then September we have enrolment.
So very important.
I go back to sixth form for my second year of sixth form. For anyone who doesn't know that, it's kind of like college, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
For America.
Yeah. College is university in America, so it's
high school?
Extended high school, I
or
guess.
something. I don't know. Well, I was 17 anyway, going into my second year of sixth form.
Yeah.
Of college. And English college. So
we are English.
I turn up. I was going to say, I turn up for my first lessons because I don't have enrolment on this day because I've already enrolled. This is my second year. So I just turn up for my lessons and I meet my friends and all that outside the gate, which are a mixture of the people who I used to do drama with and AG Fly. Yeah. Because we all just used to chill together. Mm-hmm. It's a different story for a different day, really, I suppose. And then I see you.
So I remember it. I didn't. So the story goes, Kaio, who was a member of AG Fly, was like, look, you need to go to this college. You need to go to this college.
It was literally around the corner,
which was literally around the corner from my house.
It was a real inconvenience for me because the sixth form that I went to was closer to me, and now it meant I had to walk down this long hill. Yeah. Which I would soon find out I was walking up and down every day for however long anyway.
We'll definitely get to that. Yeah. So he was like, you got to come. It'd be perfect for music. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, it was very big performing arts based. Sixth form.
So yeah, you're gonna do it, and I was like, no, I'm going to this other college. I've already enrolled there. Skip forward a week, and I've made the decision that I'm turning up. I'm gonna go and enroll because they had late enrollments. Yeah, so obviously most classes were already filled up. Like most subjects were already filled up. So I went in with the idea of I didn't want to go to college. Going back to college
this was your third year. You didn't have to go.
No, apart from my mum forcing me.
But I mean, education-wise, you did not have to attend. You'd already done 2 years previous extra education. Yeah. It was like a voluntary,
yeah, and at the time you were still getting paid EMA. For those who don't know what EMA is, it was a government scheme that they would pay you £30 a week.
It was a week.
£30 a week to go to college, to stay in education. Yes. Because lots of people at the time, and probably still, weren't staying on, and they would just go in to sign on at a job centre.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough jobs and opportunities.
We just hit recession around that time. So boom, push something to shove. I say, cool, I'm going to enroll.
So you turn up.
I turn up at this pinnacle point. I remember I literally walked around the side of the college. This is what I remember. Yeah.
Okay, but don't. Before I'm not going to hit you, I was going to say.
Okay, but I'm saying I remember walking around the side of the college.
Yeah.
And seeing my friends down the bottom of the hill, and then one of the new people that I've met and you walking up the hill.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say because at this point I was meeting Holly outside of the school. Probably. Exactly. I don't remember this very clearly, to be honest. It's quite a phasey memory. But I probably met Holly before I walked up to my other friends, because me and Holly were as thick as thieves back then.
100%.
We were always attached to the hip. If you saw one of us, you'd see the other, which is actually quite funny that you met her when I wasn't around, because that was a very rare thing to see at that time. So I'm walking with Holly and we're seeing our friends and that, and then I think Holly must have said, oh look, there's Corey, and she would have used Corey.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have introduced yourself as anything other than that. So it would have been, oh, there's Corey, and I would have been like, oh, who's that?
Yeah.
And I think she probably would have said, oh, he was at Dance and Festival. And there was probably nothing else to that.
No,
do you know what I mean? And then we all meet together. And then I don't actually remember the conversations that lead up to this one thing that we both remember so
what
fondly.
happened, as far as I remember talking to Holly.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. She must have introduced me to you. And then the first words that come out of your mouth to me is in an American accent, which is...
Do you even go here?
And I'm like, but when you don't know somebody, I'm like, you see this blonde, skinny...
May I just add, that wasn't just random for me. For some unforsaken reason, that whole group of friends, whenever we was being dramatic, an American accent came out.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Sarcastic, serious, whatever it was, an American accent.
That was quite a normal thing, so I can imagine that it probably wasn't just that. Kaio probably said something to you beforehand, surely, I don't know, like, as a group, I don't know. It was probably bouncing off, but that to you made you think that it was very rude, but that to me was like, cool, you're a part of us, you're one of us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That wasn't
But for me, I'm an outsider.
Like giving you an inside joke before you even know it. Like, you're part of us. Like, that's like exception straight away.
But that isn't how I took it. I took it as, why is she saying, do I even go here? I don't even know who this girl is. She's rude.
You're like, I do actually. I'm here for enrollment.
I remember that. I remember me like, yeah, I do go here. I'm enrolling today. So, and then I walk off. So that's the first time we ever interact.
And I don't actually think that we saw each other again that day. I don't remember it very fondly.
No.
So after that, we had... we were all still part of a friendship group. I don't know what's happening with you and AG Fly, but you eventually was getting a bit closer to them.
100%.
You were seeing Kaio a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about the others unless you were recording, but you and Kaio were together quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
we
obviously
were thick as thieves, just like you and Holly. If you saw Kaio, you saw me. If you saw me, you saw
Holly. So at one point, I don't actually remember why, but I think since they moved sixth form down to St. Paul's instead of where it was, Kaio didn't have to go there all the time.
Yeah.
So when Kaio wasn't there, neither was you. So you would literally come down to the sixth form, go there for your lessons, and then go home.
That was my...
Like, there was no one else there.
The point is, I didn't know anybody. I knew nobody at the college. I wasn't there to make friends. I was there for music. I was there for Kaio. That's the reason I went there.
But then again, Faye used to be really close to Kaio.
Yeah.
So you got very friendly with Faye as well as a friendship. So when we used to see you, again... we was always walking around together. There would literally be a huddle of us all the time. So whenever we used to see you, Faye would call you over. We'd say hello.
No, exactly.
But then again, where Faye did similar lessons, like as Kaio did, when Faye wasn't
always
there,
around.
You wasn't there.
No, I used to go. The point is what you're trying to make is the fact of if Kaio or Faye wasn't around at college,
we didn't see you.
I wasn't around because I went home.
At the beginning.
Because I went home. Because I had no friends and I wasn't there to make friends. I didn't enroll with any subjects with friends.
Yeah.
I took travel and tourism, and I redid my maths and redid my English, which I then, just full disclosure, I then dropped English, dropped maths because I found I could have a lighter schedule, which is the biggest mistakes in my life, which I'm sure will be another topic on this podcast.
And just did travel and tourism.
I just did travel and tourism. What the hell did I need travel and tourism in my life for? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't trying to be a travel agent.
It was just what was open. It was open at the enrollment.
Not even that. I was told it was going to be the easiest class, and I had the douchiest teacher.
Yeah.
It sucks, but yeah.
So, we hardly saw each other at school, first of all. But then I believe after that, before we even really started becoming friendships, I believe that Running Late started to do shows again at Bexley Heath. I feel like that must be the next part coming up to Christmas.
No. Something happened before then.
What happened before then?
So, I remember one time, and I think this was before I even knew you that well, that Faye turned up...
No, that wouldn't have happened.
That was after?
That would have been after.
Okay.
That would have been after.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
I had more interactions with you before then.
Okay.
So I'm saying that I don't think it was quite Christmas time, but I think it was just between September and Christmas that Running Late started having them up there. up at Bexley. I'm not sure. It could be phasey. It's very hard when you've been with someone for 7 years because you're not sure
100%.
what they've been doing. Do I need to go shake that again?
I don't know. So, I'm not going to edit this out. We're recording with the PC, which is over there, and it keeps going on a standby mode, and it's being really weird, so I'm not sure.
It's still red on the microphone. So...
Yeah, but it's always red. That's the problem.
Do you want me to go and shake it again?
Just go shake it. Yeah, so you're saying that we went to another show then, and that's when we met?
Yes.
That's interesting. That's very, 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 very interesting. It's a weird one because that isn't how I remember it, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily right or wrong.
I'm trying to find the wireless mouse so that we can keep it here and shake it, but I can't find it, so...
Don't worry, we'll figure it out for next week.
No, I'm saying that I think that's how I became more familiar with you. It might not have been running late. Maybe we had some parties at Kaio's house or something. But I became a bit more familiar with you.
Okay.
Because what started to happen is that when we would see you leaving the school, me and Holly would stop you.
Yes, true.
Specifically me and Holly. When no one else was about, when they were all doing their dance as well, because a lot of the people that I hung around with did dance as well as drama. So when they went and did their dance, we would specifically stop you and say, hey, do you want to come and have lunch with us?
Yeah.
Or, hey, you got... Like, why don't you turn up before break and we'll go to the shop together or whatever.
That's exactly it.
Do you know what I mean? And we started to develop a very small friendship.
Yeah.
That moved over time.
Obviously.
So then, again, fast forward then to us hanging around with Faye.
Yeah.
And...
So this one time, I remember saying to Faye, oh, what are you doing after? And I think we were both meeting Kaio. But Kaio... wasn't ready or something, so I was like, cool, just come to my house after college, you know where I live, you've been there before, yada 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 yada. And so I get to my house and my mum opens the door to me and I literally look straight through my front room and Faye, Holly and you.
I'm pretty sure it was me, Faye and Erica, but...
No, Holly was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a better memory than me.
Because I'm pretty sure your mum didn't like Holly at that point.
No, that was way beyond that. No, so I'm pretty sure it was you, Faye, Holly, and you.
Okay.
And you're all just sitting in my house. And I'm like, what the are you doing in my house? Like... Again,
where this has probably come across as well is because you've said to Faye that you can just turn up. Kaio's house used to literally be like an open youth centre kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if Kaio ever says just turn up at my house, we'd all just bop there. Like,
yeah.
It was not like in any shape or form it seemed out of the ordinary that other people came along, and which is probably why Faye thought it was fine for us to come. And we hear that and we're like, cool. Like,
exactly. But it was just like super weird, and like 3 girls have turned up at my house that I know one of them, and
you're getting to know.
I'm getting to know the other two
still,
a bit.
Still acquaintances.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, what the hell are you doing in my house? Like, I'm like, okay, cool. So that happens. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'd say we move on to the Bexley Eve shows.
Yeah. Okay. So then that happens. We're very good friends by this time because me, you, and Holly have done our first Christmas shopping trip at one point.
Do you remember? Okay, fun. Do you remember what you asked me to buy you at this Christmas shopping trip?
No.
So there was these speakers.
Yes, I do. The headphone speakers, the giant purple headphone speakers.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So me, you, and Holly went shopping and around town, and and I'm still getting to know them. I'm still getting to know them. We're still. I wouldn't say we were like crazy close, but we were a lot closer.
We were getting much closer.
We were getting a lot closer.
Me and you were messaging more, not in a way that people think it, like in like friendship.
No,
I was texting you and letting you know because at this point my house was up for sale.
Yeah.
And we were just going through all that process because I moved out in the January.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting closer. We landed up. Me, you, and Holly became a bit of a freeway like friendship,
100%.
where we would always be together. We were then the new group of friends.
Yeah.
So we all went out Christmas shopping at some point. We may have even been doing it before the Running Late show because we went to Bexley Heath. So I'm not sure
Makes
if that
sense.
was
Probably, maybe. Who
know.
knows?
But yeah, we get a bit more closer. We start going to the shows together. Like seeing you there. You stole my earmuffs at some point and went up on stage.
So I remember we did the show and it started snowing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I'm cold. I haven't got a hat. I haven't got nothing. And I'm just like, I've got my coat and I've got my gloves on. And Hayley stands in the crowd and she's got these earmuffs on. And there's photos. And if I can find the photos, I'll put them up in the video version.
Of mine or of you? Of me wearing them or you
No,
wearing
of me
them?
wearing them. Forget you. And I remember just like, yo, I'm cold. give me your earmuffs, I'm going to wear them on stage. So I'm trying to rap, and I am rapping,
But you
in
just got
these
earmuffs.
in these girly purple earmuffs
They were great.
in the snow. Okay, great, sorry.
They were great with a white love heart on them.
Oh, okay.
I have pictures of me with them on, so
We'll figure
we
that
can
out.
share those.
We'll figure that out.
But yeah, so that's all
happens.
that goes down.
Yeah.
Then you have some bad news in your family that December.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to share that.
My cousin
or
passed
not.
away.
Yeah. So you was going through a tough time and whatever else. I was still going through.
You was going through what you was going through.
Sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we use messaging a bit more back and forward. But Christmas pretty much passes is the only way after that. Like we don't really see each other as much because you're going through stuff, I'm going through stuff.
Yeah. That's fair to say.
That's pretty much that. And then January comes around and I'm about to sell. My house is about to be sold.
Yeah.
In about 2 or 3 weeks, but we've cut off our water mains.
Yeah.
Before we've moved out because our bill had finished up and we didn't want to pay another month.
Pinnacle moment.
Yeah, this is
pinnacle.
That's why I'm mentioning it.
Pinnacle moment in our relationship.
Yeah. So my water has been cut off, which means that when we want to flush the toilet, we've got to put a bucket of water down there.
Yeah.
Like brushing our teeth, we're using water bottles. And we can't shower or bath. Like there's no heating. Like gas has been turned off. There's no heating. The water is like not coming through.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Which, you know, I suppose it makes sense if you don't want to pay your bill to the end of the month when you're not going to be there.
Why are you going to pay another month if you ain't going to be there?
So it gets to the point where it's a bit awkward, but I'm still going to school and that. So I'm trying to ask my friends if I can shower at theirs whenever I'm coming over. So I showered at my friend Hannah's house and whatever else, like as we're going along. And Corey's house was just around the corner from college. And I mean literally around the corner. You could get to college from Corey's house in less than 5 minutes.
Probably less than that, isn't it?
That's what, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably less than that.
I remember asking at some point, and it sounds really, really strange, but we had opened up a bit more and trusted each other a bit more then as friends.
Yeah.
We were a lot more closer than just
we still wasn't like
we still weren't like best
the
buds,
close.
but there was a bit of understanding
100%.
there. So
yeah.
I remember asking if it was okay because I know that your mum used to work anyway during the
Mum
week.
works during the days. Yeah.
So I remember asking if it was okay during lunchtimes if I could come and have a shower.
Yeah.
Which sounds really random, but...
And I remember cracking the joke about how I have to take down my cameras then.
Yeah, that was a bit creepy, but yeah. So that's what we'll do. So for those 2 weeks before I moved or something, like that would... I think I did it a couple of times at your house, like...
Yeah,
which then got me used to going back to your house at lunchtime. So then after once I moved, every now and then sometimes I would walk I'd walk home with you because you'd finished travel and tourism at lunchtime. Yeah. And I would grab lunch and come and eat with you at your house, and then I'd go back to college after.
Exactly.
And again, that used to be with Holly as well. At the beginning.
Yeah.
Like even when I was showering, Holly used to sit in your bedroom
100%.
and chat with you while I was showering and whatever else. So again, Pinnacle, it kind of accelerated our relationship a bit more.
to an important place, I would say.
Yeah. And then I think from that, I don't know what time it is to be able to keep talking.
No, you're good. Just keep going. You're fine.
And then from that, I would say after that point, I started to talk to you about, we should do things more because we'd already gone out to Christmas shopping together as like the three of us. Yeah. And then we had this odd period where I started having lunch at your house, but only very rarely, first of all, because we still used to have our friend Martha, who we used to eat lunch with as well. Yeah. And you'd come and see us.
Yeah, exactly.
So we still had things going on. Yeah. And I had other friends as well.
100%.
Sounding rude, but you know, that's what happens. And
what's rude about that?
I don't know. This is just an image of you when you're and I'm like, sorry, Cor. I'm busy. So then I was like, we need to do more things because we only actually see you now again when you're doing AG stuff now. You're actually starting to not see each other as much because you're not sticking around at school. You're going home again. So unless we come home with you to have lunch at your house, you weren't sticking around. No. Again, you had things going on. Yeah. So it's understandable thinking back. But as a teenager, you're like, Corey's boring. Like, do you know what I mean? So this came to the point where you was like, yeah, sure, you should come over and watch Glee with me.
Again, very important part of our relationship, and probably maybe the most influential part.
Yeah, you should come and watch Glee with me. And I was like, okay, when?
At the point,
never had anything else
to clarify. I loved Glee. I was
addicted.
I was
to Glee.
in
you
love
wanted to
with
go
Glee.
and see Glee live, if I remember rightly, and you couldn't get the tickets.
No. I loved Glee. I love musical TV shows, as most of you know. I love Empire now. I love anything to do with music. And at the time, I was consuming whatever I could music-wise, looking for inspiration, anything.
Yeah, so it was like, it's okay, we don't have to do anything big, like, we can just go and chill, whatever. And you're like, yeah, you should come and watch Glee at some point. I'm like, okay, cool. And then you'd be like, when do you want to do that? And I'm like, I don't know, I'll get back to you. And at this point, Corey was terrible with his mobile phone, so him getting back to you meant that unless you physically saw him or hunted him down, he was not going to, like, come back to you or answer you.
No, there was
do you
no...
know what I mean? Like, you wasn't very...
I didn't care. Mobile phones to me meant nothing.
And this was before we really had, like, there were smartphones, but it wasn't like if I Facebook messaged you, it would come up on your phone as such straight away. Like,
there weren't a Facebook Messenger.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't have really got it unless you was on Facebook on your laptop. You wouldn't have seen that message.
At the time, if I remember rightly, at the time, I didn't have an iPhone. I don't think.
No, you didn't.
I think I was using an iPod Touch, and iPod Touch, obviously, at the time, you always had to have connected in there. Didn't have 4G, 3G, stuff like that then. Or I didn't have it anyway. No, I don't come from a rich family, so whatever I got I was very privileged and lucky to have and thankful for.
Yeah.
So I remember I must have had a phone that wasn't, like, internet savvy and an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
So the phone meant nothing to me.
So this was like a back and forth between us for a while, where I'm like, okay, so when am I coming to watch Glee? Like, I've said we need to do something. When am I coming? Like,
I'm
looking
like,
at my invisible watch, like, come on now. And you'd be like, oh, it'll happen. And then, like,
whenever.
Messing about, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, all talk, no action.
Yeah.
And I remember repeating that to you several times. Oh, all talk, no action.
Yeah.
That's Corey, all talk, no action.
100%.
Like, Glee, Glee, Glee. And then it must have been coming up towards our first half term. And I remember being like to you, when am I coming to watch Glee then? And for once, you gave me a straightforward answer. It was not, I don't know, or when I feel like it, or I don't know, once I've had my haircut. I don't, it was like, tell you what, you keep telling me I'm all talk, no action. Come to my house on Monday of half term, or whatever it was. We'll watch Glee.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll be there. I don't know if you actually expected me to be there, but...
no, probably not.
But I turned up. We watched Glee on that Monday, and then we continued to just chill. I asked you to teach me how to play FIFA.
But even before that, which I think is, like, important, for some reason, every one of our friends was saying, oh, you two like each other, you two like each other, you two like each other.
New Year, wasn't it?
Oh, the New Year party.
That's before I even needed to use your shower.
Yeah, so we had the New Year party.
We had a New Year's party at our friend's house.
Again, photos, there's evidence. We ended up...
That's actually when we started becoming really close friends.
Yeah. But we ended up taking this photo of you sat on my lap, and...
We were dancing together a lot, and we would hug each other, which again was a normal thing.
For you, you was a hugger. You loved hug. Yeah.
Again, I think it's because of the friends that I had and how I met them. Because we were all drama students.
Yeah.
Or dance people.
Whatever.
We had to be able to hug each other. We had to be able to pretend we were mum and dad, or husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or whatever it was in our drama plays and stuff. So you kind of didn't have that awkwardness. Like, there was not, like, the barriers were kind of gone because you had to trust them fully.
Yeah.
So I used to hug everyone. Like, it wasn't a thing. Like, that was just me being friendly. That's I still love hugs. We go to blimmin'...
anything we go to, everyone
like
knows
that.
that.
People,
yeah,
so
100%.
It's not a big deal. But,
no.
Speculations of, like, when we're hugging each other. And I remember at this New Year's party that my button on my shorts actually fell off. It broke while we're at this New Year's party. And I don't live near the house that we were at.
No.
So I remember that when we were dancing, I would have to hold up my trousers, my shorts. Or I remember we were dancing, I think you was holding up my shorts for me.
I remember that, yeah. I do remember that.
It sounds really silly. I had a belt on it, but it was still a bit, making sure everything was fine.
Yeah.
And then, the night gets on, I'm a bit tired, and then I remember that everyone was sitting on the sofas or chairs, we went back to, we didn't have enough space.
We went back to somebody else's house,
sitting on your lap.
Yes.
On a chair, which is the photo that we have that people think that.
Oh, that was at the party, yeah.
Yeah, that was at the party.
Yeah.
So there are people saying, "Oh, you two like each other," and we're like, "Oh, no."
No, like no.
No way.
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm not interested in him whatsoever.
At all. And
like, and that wasn't us being rude. That was being like, it's strange to think. Like,
yeah, it wasn't.
We have this banter between us, but that's it. Like,
yeah,
it's not.
It was. I think it was like a very.
That's my friend. Like, no, I wouldn't go there. That was almost like how.
Maybe that's how you saw it, but for me, it was just it wasn't even like I didn't friend zone you, but there was no attraction. Exactly, there was no attraction at all.
I loved you as a friend, and that was enough. Like,
that was it. Yeah,
and that was it. So then. Fast forward again to that half term where we was watching Glee.
Yeah.
In fact, I think a bit beforehand you told me you was a gamer.
Yeah.
And in messages and stuff, I used to say, "Oh, my brother plays games, and I've seen him play games a lot before."
Yeah.
And you were telling me you was playing Fable, and I remember back and forth of me saying, "Oh, what's happening in Fable?" And you're being a bit like, "This guy ain't got a clue." Like until you meet my brother further down the line, and you understand why
you have a clue.
Why I had a clue, but I had never played video games as much.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get to yours. We're watching Glee. I think you landed up catching me up for all the seasons. I don't think I'd ever watched Glee beforehand.
Yeah.
So we binge watched all that, and then I remember asking you to teach me how to play games.
Yeah.
So you was teaching me how to play FIFA first of all, and then we learned how to play Left 4 Dead, and that became our game. You love Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I really enjoyed Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
But before we knew it, coming over to watch Glee on the Monday did not mean coming over to watch Glee on the Monday. It meant I was seeing you every day for the next 2 weeks of that first half term.
Yeah.
And that was literally every day.
And to clarify as well, it wasn't just me and you. Holly was mixed in there a little bit every now and then.
Anyone who's done music before at a young age, I think you know that when you're trying to be creative and that you always surround yourself with people who do music anyway.
100%.
So we was at your house, other people were at your house doing studio, or you was going to Kayo's doing studio, or you had shows, or we were going to the chicken shop or whatever the hell you do at that age. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were all kind of back and forth. Yeah. But I spent literally, like, every day that half term with you.
With me, yeah.
That whole time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we started to realise that actually we click a lot more than what I think we thought we did.
Yeah, 100%.
And that we actually get on really well together. And that kind of started the foundation of our friendship that we even still have now.
100%.
And I don't believe that we started to date that half term.
No.
But we went back to school with a different chemistry to what we had left before the half term. So we came back and we were very playful. We were very
touchy. We used to held hands. We used to hug a lot.
We would probably be a bit more like cheeky with each other than what we normally would. So it automatically made all our friends think we were dating.
A very important thing back then as well. I am still to this day, I believe, but not to the same level. But I was very flirtatious anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But I think even more so with you than the other people around us.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is as well is that I think it was stupid things. Like, we used to say, again, I used to say it to a lot of people, and I still do to my friends, like, I'm very much a person that when I end a conversation or before I go to bed, I need to tell you I love you if I'm your friend or whatever. And I would do that to Corey before I'd fallen in love with him because he was my friend and I loved him. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
As a friend.
So, you know, you'd use phrases like that, and BlackBerry Messenger, you put my name with a heart next to it or something.
Which I did for a lot of people.
Yeah, which again is harmless when you're like a kid.
Yeah.
I know you're not, but you know what I mean.
Kids,
like,
I get what you're saying.
But everyone was like, "Oh, what's going on with you two? Are you boyfriend and girlfriend yet?" Blah blah. And we're like, "No, we're just chilling."
Yeah.
And I remember that was our phrase. We're just chilling.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we were sure how we felt about each other yet. But we were like, we're going with the flow. We're just chilling.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. It's like, what happens, happens. We see how it goes. Like, we're seeing each other a lot more. And then I believe that we started to continue chilling or go to other events, because this is when Disky started coming up as well. And like I said, we're being more touchy. You'd be hugging me or I'd be holding your hand. And then I think we landed up kissing at my friend's party. I think it was at Holly's party was our first kiss.
Yeah.
Holly's birthday party. Yeah, and then from there, really, I would just say that we just continued. We then grew as a relationship, right? We started chilling. We was friends with, like, it's not really with benefits. It's just friends with kissing. That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
do you know
much.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, seeing where it went, going with the flow.
Yeah.
But the whole time, you would say to me, I don't want to be in a relationship.
Because 6 months prior, I'd just come out of a relationship.
And it hit you hard, first of all.
Yeah, like, of course.
Because it was for a 6-month relationship, then, which when you're young is a long time.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? So, yes, it was like, oh, no, we'll just see how it goes. And I think as well, another part of that, which I don't know is what you realised, or what you think right now, is that it was hard for your family when I first started coming around a lot more, because your cousin had just passed away, which was called Hayley.
Yeah.
And then I come in,
and
I'm Hayley. And your Auntie Anne used to be around nearly every day,
she used to look after my
she used
sister.
to look after Grace. So it was very hard for your Auntie Anne. I remember meeting her the first time, and she'd be like, "You've got an awesome name."
Yeah.
The first thing she said.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? You spell it wrong, but you've got an awesome name.
Yeah.
Like, and even Grace, like the first time I met Grace, which is Corey's little sister, she was 4, and the first thing she said to me was, "I have a cousin called Hayley, but she's a star now."
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was very raw still and very hard.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably hard for you to make me any more than a friend, because your family was still mourning your cousin, and it was a bit of an awkward, and still are.
Yeah, of course.
And you never get over that, but
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was probably helped to prolong that as one of the many reasons that when you're 17 you don't want to settle down, you know?
Yeah.
17 or 18.
I think at the time, very important again, which kind of irrelevant to the conversation, I guess, but I was getting a lot more female attention due to music.
Oh, you was doing music.
I was getting the most I ever had. I was at the skinniest I ever was.
Yeah.
Because I just come out of a 6-month relationship. I was working out every day. I was going for jogs. I was going for walks. I was working out in Mickey's back garden. Mickey, probably one of my best friends. And so I was at my skinniest. It's a weird thing to say. I was popular.
You was well known.
I was well known
in
the area.
Yeah,
in the area. I remember we got spotted at my calf once, and people were like, "Oh my god!" We got spotted in McDonald's. I remember going to the toilet and people like saying things.
Us lot, because we were all friends, so we never really.
So
looked at you
didn't
like that.
care.
You was just Corey and Kaio and Abilio and Camille. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It made you fly.
No, but other people there was.
Some
like
people
that.
there was.
Yeah.
But yes, that was pretty much that. But funny enough, we landed up using each other to try and hide from others at some point. And I'm not going to name names because it's a podcast. But like, I remember making you come to school council after school so I could avoid someone who was waiting outside the school to meet me. That was interesting. And again, at a party, I remember you using me as a decoy to try and stay away from someone else.
Yeah.
So we were a bit sneaky with the way this relationship started up. But I remember that... Again,
which probably pushed us forward even more.
Probably pushed us forward more. We didn't rush into anything. Then we didn't rush into anything. But yeah, we were seeing each other. Well, we were just going with the flow. No benefits or anything like that. Like, nothing attached to it. No label. And which means that when you finally asked me to go out with you, it came as a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, so the important thing to remember here is that I didn't want to be in a relationship, and then all of a sudden, I think we had a conversation about how you didn't want me to be with anybody else, I didn't want you to be with anyone else, but we didn't want to be in a relationship. And when that conversation happens, it's like...
Well, why don't we want to be in a relationship?
Why then? But it was an important thing, because I think it didn't help that our friends... for a long period of time, we're like, you still gonna get together, and then we're like, no.
I also think another thing that was probably hard as well is that I'm the first person in my family that has ever gone out with someone who is not white.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily know how that reaction was going to be.
Yeah.
Although my parents had met you as my friend beforehand.
True.
So yeah, that was another thing that was a bit...
Yeah,
exactly. Weren't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was an interesting time for everybody, I'd say. Yeah. But so I asked you out. I remember standing in my kitchen, and I'm like, "Oh, so do you want to go out with me?" And Hayley burst out laughing,
as you do.
And I'm like, "Wait, hold up! I've done something wrong here. Something's not right." Like,
but to be fair, right? Anyone who knew Corey at the age of 18 knew that he was very flirtatious. He would have asked a married woman to go out with him and thought it was nothing. Like, he probably, and I don't honestly remember this, I remember it was in the kitchen, but I don't remember how it was asked. But he probably said it in such a kind of suave way that I honestly thought he was taking the... like Mickey, to be honest, like the young Michael over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I just burst out laughing. I'm like, you're joking, right?
Yeah.
Like, you've been telling me for like 3 months straight that you don't want to be in a relationship. We've told all of our friends that we're not seeing each other. We're just chilling and going with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, this must be a joke. Like, I don't know, like it was seriously a joke. Like,
yeah, it was an interesting time.
and then your face told me that it wasn't a joke, and then I all of a sudden felt like a bit of a a so-and-so.
How did you feel? Like,
I was like, oh, you wasn't joking, like, and I don't even remember what I said after that. I remember saying like, oh, were you joking? You'd be like, no, and then I was like, oh. And I don't honestly remember if I said yes straight after, or if I was just like.
I remember.
I remember saying. I think I remember saying to you, but you don't want to be in a relationship.
Probably something like that. I think you did say yes at the end, and I was like, Joe, what? No, don't worry about it. I'm gonna make you wait a month.
A month. Yeah, and this is something that he told his friend Mickey, and Mickey can vouch that was not what happened. But before all of this, you had started testing the waters out before you even asked me, because you never told Mickey, Andy, or Jack that I was just your friend. Whenever you spoke to them on Xbox, you would say that I was your girlfriend.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I'd be a bit like, okay.
I had lots of girlfriends.
Yeah, of course you did. Little player.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, so that's how we landed up starting to date.
See each other. Then I remember we went to a
became
party
boyfriend and
at
girlfriend.
someone else's house.
There was a lot of house
And
parties.
there was tons of parties, yeah. I remember, long story short, that we went to a party at somebody's house and just, I think it was laying on a trampoline. And I actually said to you,
Go on.
and I said to you, I love how she just remembers it now. And I said to you, so do you want to
There
go
was a lot
out
of
with me?
parties, sorry.
And she was like, yeah. And then we
went
announced
into
to
it,
our
and then everyone
friends,
was
and
like,
everyone
everyone was really
"Ah!"
excited. And then
Yeah.
Erica was really freaky and was like, kiss. I want to see you kiss.
I want to see you kiss. Yeah, that was,
Like,
yeah.
I'm watching.
Yeah. That was interesting.
But that was interesting indeed. But yeah, that's what happened there.
So that's the story of
that's
how we
kind
got
of-
together.
That's the story as we know it. There's almost like a prequel before we even
The prequel.
realised that there's a prequel that
Yeah.
we landed up finding out as we've been going out, and there are some really, really freaky coincidences that have happened between us two that kind of makes me feel like we were destined to meet. Maybe not necessarily, like, I don't know how much I believe in destiny, so maybe I can't say that, oh, it was our life path that we would, like,
It's a very good
become
video
together,
game.
but, you know, like, no, but you understand, there was always fate there that we was going to cross paths, so...
Yeah, so starting off, number one, we both went to the same primary school.
Yeah, both went to the same primary school. You used to have a friend or an aunt, Auntie Debbie.
She was a friend.
She
You
was
know,
a friend
she's a
who's
friend that
like
you
a friend of the
called.
family, yeah.
Well, no. Technically, Max is like my third cousin.
Yeah, so, but I used to know them really well. They used to live across the road from my house.
Yeah.
And I would go to their parties, or I'd go and, like, play with him and his little sister and that. And I didn't
Yeah.
realise that apparently you used to do that all the time as well.
Yeah.
Like, you would be picked up from school by her and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of the coincidences.
So no, but yeah, but the very important one is the fact
Is
that
that
we
we went to
both.
the same primary school.
Yeah,
You're a year above me, but we went to the same primary school.
yeah, like
So we know a lot of the same people from our childhood.
which is strange, but we didn't know each other. And as most people at Timbercroft Primary School will tell you,
Here we go. Go on.
I was very popular. Very popular. And I was well known around the school, of course.
Supposedly.
There's no supposedly about it. You like to argue this, that I wasn't, yeah? And I used to chill with the cool kids because I was the cool kid, yeah? People wanted to be my friend.
Of course they did.
You, on the other hand, you was a loser. No one wanted to be your friend.
Sure.
I'm just saying how it is.
Which one of us went home to have lunch every day at sixth form on their own? Case closed.
Which one of us was a popular rapper in the local area?
Sorry. Was you in AG Fly when I met them? Let's move on.
I was me when you met them.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Yeah, so we went to the same primary
So
school.
we went to the same primary school. Your cousin used to go to that primary school as well.
Yeah.
And she actually, this is a really silly thing because I have a very good memory.
Yeah.
But she used to read to me in year 2.
Yeah. Which is
seems
something you
really
told me
silly, but
towards-
that's something that I remember. I didn't realise that she was even your relative when
Yeah.
I think I pointed it out to you.
No.
And like I knew her younger brother that's a couple of years younger than me
2 years? 3
in
years?
Timbercroft because I used to
Yeah.
know people that were younger than me as well.
Uh-huh.
So that's like one of the first coincidences.
Coincidences, yeah.
The second one that I think became most apparent, I'm going to go with the order that we kind of found them out in. So the second one that was the most apparent is that his aunt and uncle live next door to my cousin.
Yeah.
Who we don't really see much, but
No.
that's other
whatever.
So that was another coincidence that we learned very quickly, because I'd walk down the street and be like, oh, my cousin lives there, and
I'd be
you
like,
say my aunt lives next door,
and
or
I know your cousin,
that
and I
person,
used to play ball games with your cousin, and I know him very well when I've been in his house and chilled with him, and etc.
Exactly. So that was another thing where we're like, oh my gosh, this is so strange.
Yeah.
Another thing that would probably come up is that I went to the same secondary school that his mum and all of his aunts went to.
So my granddad had 17 kids. 14, 15, 16, 17. 14 of them were girls, and all of them went to the same secondary school.
So I knew one of his aunts I didn't know, but I knew of one of your aunts that was like a year older than me.
Yeah.
So like, when I think we probably went past them on the street and they said hello to you, and I'm like, oh, she went to my secondary school.
And I'll be like,
do you know what I mean? So that was again another thing that was just a bit. These are all quite minor coincidences, I suppose.
They're minor, but they gradually get bigger.
They grow up. They continue. So then we get to. I believe we get to my nan's house, or we get to see my uncles and my aunts, and I say that I find it strange that Corey's aunt and uncle live next door to my cousin, which is my uncle's son, and he says, "Oh yeah, I know him. That's my." He's tall.
Just baiting up his whole name.
Sorry, everyone knows who he is though. That's Fishy.
Fishy.
That's Fishy. He taught the girls judo.
Yeah.
So your uncle taught my 3 cousins.
So he lived
judo.
next door to one of your cousins and taught the other
sisters,
3.
Yeah, I was going to say that they've never met.
No.
So
Judo.
So that's another thing where I was like, mind blown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the last one has to hit the nail on the head, right? Like,
the last one's crazy.
The last one we did not figure out until probably 2 years into our relationship,
maybe
if not
more.
I very clearly remember when I introduced you to my mum, and I said your name. I don't want to bait your name. I don't know if everyone knows your full name. But I said, oh, this is Corey.
I guess it's all on Facebook, so if you've got me on Facebook. It's a
It's
weird one, because I'm
strange,
like, do I need to hide names? Do I not need to hide names?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but, my
whatever.
mum says, wow, that's a really common surname, isn't it? And I thought,
I'm like, no, it's
really.
not.
Yeah, but she did say, oh, that's a very common surname. And I didn't think anything else into it.
Yeah.
We've always, like, Corey grew up in Plumstead, I grew up in Plumstead.
Yeah.
And, like, so it's understandable where that name could have come about with however many other relatives you have with the same last name.
Like,
and
they all live in Plumstead.
Could have, like, passed them or seen them at the doctors or heard someone call them out, whatever. And you think, oh, okay, fair enough. But I thought that's not a common name at all. I don't know any other people with that last name if they're not related to you. Mm-hmm. So completely forget about that. So it comes on to a couple of years later, and I believe that we're both in the car, in your granddad's car, and your mum's in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat, and we drive down a specific road that goes past where my mum used to work.
Yeah.
And I go, I say, oh, my mum used to work there. And your mum says, my mum used to work there too. Now, that's very strange, because I I believed I had never met your mum's mum. Because they don't talk.
They don't talk. I'm not close.
You didn't really know her.
I knew her, but I knew her enough when I was a young child, but we wasn't close. Like, my mum didn't get on with her, so.
Yeah, so for your mum to say, oh, my mum worked there, I was a bit like, oh, okay. And I was like, when did your mum work there? And then she told me a rough about time. And I said, well, that sounds about the same time that my mum worked there.
Yeah.
So I said, so what's your mum's name? Because I've never thought of asking this before, because I've never met her.
No.
So your mum says, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? This is my mum's name is. And I went, I know her. I've met her. My mum went on holiday with her.
Crazy.
So, turns out that my mum went on a week or 2 week vacation to Spain with your nan. Before we had even met. So if you add all of these coincidences up, we went to the same primary school.
Yep.
We both went in and out of the same child's house.
Yep.
Your cousin taught me how to read in year 2.
Yep.
Your aunt and uncle lived next door to my cousin. Your uncle also taught 3 of my cousins judo. And my mum went on holiday with your nan.
Yep.
All before we met each other.
And we went to primary school together.
That was the first one.
Oh, okay. Before we even knew each other.
Before we knew a single thing about each other. And since then, honestly, like, there have been so many coincidences or so many people that we both have known that had no idea the other one had known.
Yeah.
Like, going forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's a weird one. It's a really weird scenario.
Yeah.
Of how it's a weird scenario of how we got together. Two people who didn't like each other, didn't find each other attractive, didn't really want anything from each other.
Yeah, it was in two different worlds almost, first of all.
We fall in love.
Yeah.
And have been together happily for 7 years.
Exactly. And then it accelerates even further because for whatever circumstances, you moved into my house 4 months into our relationship.
Yeah.
And we pretty much stayed living together.
And so we've lived together for 6 and a half years.
So it's been mad. And to be honest, it's kind of good at the same time because of how random it was that we got together, and because of how many times we said we weren't going to be together and we wasn't. There was a lot of people, especially my friends, I would say more so, that were really skeptical about how this relationship would turn out. That they kind of had this impression that like you held the cards rather than both of us as such. Like, 100%. Corey's not sure if he wants to be with you, or do you know what I mean? Like, this is not going to last, that he's using you, or you're doing this, or do you know what I mean? And it was a bit of there was a lot of skepticism towards our relationship and where it was going to go. So it's quite nice to kind of know that, you can wave on to the haters,
Wave on to the haters, haters.
No, but you know what I'm saying, like it's...
Yeah.
And we've become a lot more alike each other now, more than we were before. We were two completely different people.
But that's just normal in a relationship, I think.
That's just
you
over
change.
time.
You do change.
Yeah,
change who
old.
you are. Oh, I'm very old now. Yeah, it's just I thought that was an interesting story for you guys to hear. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the first episode of Fix and Friends. I am MC Fixer. You can follow me on Twitter at MC Fixer. You can subscribe right here on youtube.com/MC Fixer. I forgot to say at the top of the show, but if you want the show early, you can head over to patreon.com/MC Fixer. The audio version of this podcast will go live for all early for $3, and the video version for this show will go live for all for $4. Please consider supporting the show financially, as I'm sure most of you know. YouTube doesn't like ads anymore, so we don't make any money. We're trying to give more content, but we do need to try and get more back out of it. So for the same price, you get my Xbox and me early and Fix and Friends early on the respective tiers. So go check that out. Like I said, patreon.com/MC Fixer. Where can people find you?
I am mainly at The Hayley Show for social media, but I believe on Twitter I am at The Hayley Show 21 because Twitter doesn't like me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Until next week, I'll love you, leave you, and see you all later.
Bye. Bye.